Let's speak to James Dorsey in Singapore. He is a senior fellow in international relations at the Nanyang Technological University. Thanks so much for speaking to us. First, what do you make of this latest U.S. accusation of China actually meddling in U.S. midterm elections? Is it legitimate, or is that just really a step too far?
I don't think we know. I mean, it's one of two possibilities. One would be that the Chinese are actually doing that. And of course, the Chinese have broken rules in the past, so there would be some reason to believe that it may be possible. The other possibility is simply that Trump is using this as a negotiating tactic and throwing a monkey wrench into things, like he often does in terms of trying to create leverage, and believes that that is a successful tactic.
Well, James, if you can still hear me. I think we're having a bit of difficulty with your line. There
yes,
you are.
I can.
Good. I just want to get your take then on what you've seen over the course of this General Assembly and watching the United States very vocally bashing multilateralism. I mean, do you think the UN has kind of suffered some irrevocable damage here?
Well, what I think is that Trump has very clearly laid out what his philosophy is and how he intends to go about it. Now, the question of whether or not that really damages U.S. credibility remains to be seen. And I think part of that is going to be determined by what happens in the midterm elections in November in the United States. So, with other words, if Trump loses the midterm election, then I think there'll be many people who will feel, let's just sit this out to the next presidential election, because the chances are that Trump will lose. In terms of the United Nations, I think that it could cost the United Nations in financial terms. Trump has already indicated that he's going to revisit U.S. funding of the United Nations. But on the other hand, you have an almost universal opposition to the way that he wants to approach things. And that works, of course, in the United Nations' benefit.
Okay. James Dorsey, we will leave it there. Thank you so much for that from Singapore.